I hope I'm clearly audible and we are good to go. Understand basically this is a lecture on YouTube. So with YouTube, the situation is that whatever I'll be discussing, say, it would be audible to you 6 months, 6 minutes down the line. So if I tell it now, you probably might hear it 6 seconds down the line. So 6 seconds ka gap रहता. So if at all you don't understand anything or if you want me to repeat, keep on posting in the chat box. I'll repeat it. I have a constant eye on the chat box and I will ensure that you get it to your best. In case throughout at the end of the lecture, if there are any queries, if there is anything which goes unattended, please feel free to ask. Don't let your doubt be a doubt. Get everything cleared today itself. Most importantly, understand we are studying it from entrance point of view. We are not studying it from theory point of view. हम यहाँ पे सेमेस्टर के आंसर्स लिखने के लिए नहीं है, हम यहाँ पे एंट्रेंस के लिए प्रिपेयर करने के लिए. सो आवर वे फॉर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर एंट्रेंस will be different compared to our way for preparing for semesters. So since it is not semesters, it is entrance, we are supposed to work it out in a different manner. Again, when it comes to entrances, is anyone asking us to write theory in entrance? ऋषिकेश क्या हमको theory लिखना पड़ता है entrance में? People, are we writing theory ever in entrances? A big no. Entrances is all about multiple choice question, right? I hope you are aware about GPAT, what number of questions, what amount of negative marking is there, are the different type of questions, how are we supposed to approach those questions. So basically taking into account all those factors, we will move further discussing about how we touch upon entrance point of view onto all those particular subjects and topics. Before we get started, just to get a quick overview from you all, can we have a brief introduction about ourselves? Just maybe your name and your college in the chat box, and then we get going. Most important thing which I would like you to mention is your semester in which you are ongoing. If you are a semester 2 student, probably आपने bronchial asthma के बारे में सुना भी नहीं होगा. But if you are not a semester 2 student, if you are on the higher side, maybe sem 4, sem 6, then probably you already have some base with regards to asthma. So for you, it might just be a easy topic to grab upon. Alright, can we have quick answers in the chat box? Rishikesh, may I know your semester? Just your semester, semester 4, semester 6, semester 2. Have you ever done bronchial asthma in college for your theory exams, or is it that it's a totally new topic for us? जस्ट फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन, ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा से पास्ट में जीपैट नाइपर में क्वेश्चंस आके गए हैं. The last time the number of questions which came in GPAT from the chapter of bronchial asthma was not one, was not two. Somewhere in 2020, xylitol, the wrong answer given one was question also there. There were other different types of question in as well. So we need to get an idea about what are the different types of questions which have been asked multiple times in the past, so that we get ready for those particular questions in the situation whereby we could answer all of them. Next most important thing which we have to take into consideration is, okay, so Javed has already done bronchial asthma of lately in his college, so he knows about bronchial asthma in that particular case. Other than that, when we talk about bronchial asthma, one of the most important thing which we have to take into account, it's a pharmacology chapter. I agree altogether about it. But understand, when it comes to entrances, when it comes to GPAT, NIPER, ICT, BITS, Manipal, ये जितने भी अलग अलग entrances है, it's always better to do pharmacology and medicinal chemistry together. दोनों hand in hand होने चाहिए. Now, why are we supposed to do pharmacology and medicinal chemistry together? अंडरस्टैंड सेम चीज एज अ चैप्टर ऑफ ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा थोड़े टाइम बाद हमको मेडिसिनल केमिस्ट्री में भी पढ़ना है. देन व्हाई टू डबल रीड इट? आप पढ़ने के टाइम ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा एक ही बार पढ़ो. आप वो ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा को फार्माकोलॉजी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी पढ़ लो और उसको मेडिसिनल केमिस्ट्री पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी पढ़ लो. फॉर मेनी ऑफ अस मेडिसिनल केमिस्ट्री इटसेल्फ माइट बी अ टोटली न्यू सब्जेक्ट. हम शायद अभी तक ये सब्जेक्ट पे भी नहीं आए हैं. हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस मेडिसिनल केमिस्ट्री इन आवर कॉलेज सेमेस्टर्स? How many of us have medicinal chemistry in our college semesters? Medicinal chemistry. Have you have already started with your medicinal chemistry as a subject? Am I clearly audible or any voice disturbances? Am I clearly audible or any voice disturbances? Just a quick confirmation, and I'm so sorry I forgot to ask it in the initial go. Is it clearly audible? Rishikesh, Veena, Javed, Atharva, Reshma, am I clearly audible? Okay, Vaishnavi says semester 4. Others, is it clearly audible? Voice check in just voice disturbances, no background disturbances. Okay, थोड़ा सा blur है, properly not. Okay, I'll change it tomorrow. Wait. Is it clearly audible now? Is it clearly audible now? I hope now there is no voice break, no background disturbances, and there is no cracking voice as well. Nothing irritating as well. Just a quick confirmation. I'm so sorry I couldn't ask you in the previous go, but I suppose now this is very much in place and we are good to go. Alright, so as we discussed, when we are going to go through this chapter of asthma now, we will discuss about its pharmacology point of view as well. And trust me, the actual way for getting ready for GPAT, NIPER is to start right from the base. So when we are talking about the chapter of asthma, and if we are saying drugs for treatment of asthma, first and foremost thing, these all drugs are going to be used in treatment of asthma. Nothing is for prophylaxis, nothing is for diagnosis. Whatever is there, it's entirely for treatment. So before trying to understand what are the different drugs used for treatment of asthma, we should first know what is the cause of asthma. Asthma hota kyun hai? So if you remember, cause of asthma, you all have primarily read it in anatomy, pathology, pathophysiology. APP में हम लोग ने drugs for bronchial asthma as a disease separately पढ़ा. Does everyone agree? Maybe semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, depending upon the universities, this might just differ upon. So the basic logic and the idea to get over here is we should have learned this in detail right from the base. I should first know the cause of the disease, then I'll go into the pharmacology part of it, which is going to talk about treatment of this particular disease, which is right over here in the form of drugs. And whatever drugs are used in treatment of asthma, the supporting part for it, that why any specific drug is only there, what is the structural aspect specifically, we have medicinal chemistry in place. So together, when we are going to get ready today for our different entrances like GPAT, NIPER, ICT, BITS, Manipal, very obviously we will go right from the base डिजीज के कॉज से लेके उसके ट्रीटमेंट से लेके उसके मेडिसिनल केमिस्ट्री पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू तक फॉर योर इन्फॉर्मेशन यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट एटलीस्ट one question maximum three questions in entrances like GPAT, NIPER, ICT, BITS, Manipal from the chapter of asthma. Every third year, second year, there are always questions from the chapter of asthma. Rather than taking it as a subject only for demo, the main ideology over here is to showcase you that how come medicinal chemistry, ecology and anatomy, pathology, pathophysiology, जिसको आप एपीपी के बदले शायद एचएपी भी बोलते रहोगे, ह्यूमन एनाटॉमी एंड फिजियोलॉजी बोलते रहोगे आप, how this three can be done together, that's the major motto and the major target for our today's discussion. All set friends, we are good to go. And yes, I'm again telling you, if you don't understand anything and if you want me to repeat anything, please feel free to let me know. Let's get going. Before I go further, I forgot to tell you, don't forget to subscribe this channel so that you are notified for the further demo lectures. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram page to know more about industry highlights. Anyways, let's get going with our target for today's session, which is with regards to asthma. फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट थिंग वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ कंपैरेटिव चार्ट ओवर हियर. अगर आपको लगता है मैं फास्ट जा रहा हूं एंड इफ यू वांट मी टू स्लो डाउन प्लीज लेट मी नो. सो कंपैरेटिव चार्ट से मेरे कहने का मतलब ये था, ऑन वन साइड ऑफ इट वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट व्हाट इज द कॉज ऑफ अस्थमा. अस्थमा क्यों होता है, किसके वजह से होता है, क्या कोई मारता है इसके लिए अस्थमा होता है क्या? जावेद, वैष्णवी, व्हाई डज अस्थमा हैपन? ड्यू टू वाटर? इज इट अ वाटर बोर्न डिजीज? सौरभ, इज इट अ एयर बोर्न डिजीज? आकाश, अस्थमा क्यों होता है? Is it any allergic reaction? Somewhere yes. So one side of the picture we will discuss about the cause of asthma, and on the other side of it we are going to discuss about the treatment of asthma. Please get it very straight. अगर आपको cause पता चल गया, अगर आपको left side समझ में आ गया, I'm 1000% sure आपको right hand side अपने आप समझ में आ जाएगा. But unless and until you understand why is asthma happening, what is the causative factor for the disease of asthma, जब तक आपको कॉज समझ में नहीं आएगा तब तक आपको ट्रीटमेंट भी समझ में नहीं आएगा. Am I very much clear, my friend? Good one, Vaishnavi. Basically, asthma is a situation wherein there is difficulty in breathing. हम easily breathe नहीं कर पाते. एक एक करके सब कुछ देखेंगे. Don't worry, I'm not here to get you ready for any semester papers or anything. हम आज जो भी पढ़ेंगे, जितने भी टाइम के लिए पढ़ेंगे, let it be half an hour, 45 minutes, we will do it up to the point, to a level that सब कुछ यहीं पे खत्म हो जाए. आप यहाँ के आधे पौने घंटे के बाद even if you read KD Tripathi for 5 minutes, you should be able to know things in and out. That's the target of next 30 minutes to 45 minutes. All good going, the speed is comfortable, you are okay with the language. Don't worry, whatever I am saying in English, it's the same thing I might repeat in between in Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Telugu, so you're not missing on to anything. फिर भी अगर कुछ नहीं समझता है बिंदास पूछ लो. Let's get going. First and foremost thing, अस्थमा होने का मेन रीजन होता है एक एलर्जिक रिएक्शन विच इज बेसिकली हाइपर रिएक्टिविटी. So can I say asthma is basically a disease when your body responds to the external stimulus? Can I say that? वो आपके बॉडी का जवाब है आपके जो एक्सटर्नल स्टिमुलाई हो रहा है उसके अगेंस्ट. अगेन इन दैट इफ आई हैव टू बेसिकली अंडरस्टैंड, अस्थमा का मेन स्टार्ट होता है जब एक एंटीजन और एंटीबॉडी रिएक्ट होते हैं ऑन अ मास्ट सेल. I hope you all know about mast cell, macrophages, like lymphocytes, neutrophils, and all those. We are not going to that particular depth. So if I am saying that patient को asthma हो रहा है, in that particular case, the major cause of asthma in patient is the antigen antibody reaction. Now, this antigen antibody reaction happens specifically on mast cell only. Correct? I hope you all are aware about these all different types of cells. एक बार एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी मास्ट सेल के ऊपर रिएक्ट हुए, the next thing what happens after antigen antibody reaction is once your antigen antibody reacts on the mast cell breaks down, mast cell टूट जाता है. साइंटिफिक लैंग्वेज में अगर मैं बोलूं तो mast cell का डीग्रैनुलेशन हो जाता है. once mast cell का डीग्रैनुलेशन हो गया, once mast cell का ब्रेकडाउन हो गया, once mast cell has broken down, once mast cell has undergone degranulation, in that particular case it's as always, कोई भी सेल ब्रेक होता है तो क्या होता है, जैसे ही कोई भी सेल ब्रेक होता है वो सेल के सारे इंग्रेडिएंट्स बाहर आ जाते हैं. राइट वैष्णवी, सौरभ, जावेद, विराज, एम आई करेक्ट? तो जैसे ही मास्ट सेल भी ब्रेक डाउन होगा, मास्ट सेल के सारे केमिकल इंग्रेडिएंट्स बाहर आ जाएंगे. Now those chemical mediators which were present in mast cell, those were different types. Few chemical mediators in mast cell were leukotrienes. Few chemical mediators in mast cell was prostaglandins. Few chemical mediators in mast cell was platelet activating factors. You also had your histamine and protease enzyme. ये कुछ अलग अलग केमिकल मीडिएटर्स है जो मास्ट सेल के अंदर थे. जैसे ही मास्ट सेल टूटा, जैसे ही मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन हुआ, ये सारे केमिकल मीडिएटर्स, leukotrienes, prostaglandins, platelet activating factors, ये सब कुछ बाहर आ गया. Everything got leaked. Once your chemical mediators leak, ये सारे के सारे जितने भी chemical mediators है, I hope you all are aware, prostaglandins, leukotrienes, they all can actually cause inflammation, right? तो जैसे ये chemical mediators release हुए हैं, the next thing which would happen is this chemical mediators will lead to bronchoconstriction. Now what do you mean by bronchoconstriction? Bronchoconstriction basically क्या होता है, अपने human system में there is something known as bronchioles, right? Don't go on the diagram, I hope you get it. तो bronchioles are basically air pathways जिसमें से inhaling, exhaling चलता है. जब ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन हो रहा है तो समझ लो अगर पहले मेरे ब्रोंक्यूल्स का डायमीटर था, लेट्स टेक अ सिंपल एग्जांपल, मेरे ब्रोंक्यूल्स का डायमीटर था 10 मिलीमीटर, जस्ट अ रफ एग्जांपल, 10 मिलीमीटर मेरे ब्रोंक्यूल्स का डायमीटर था. अब जब ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन हुआ है, देन फ्रॉम 10 मिलीमीटर दिस ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन विल लीड इट टू अ शॉर्टर डायमीटर, लेट्स से इट माइट जस्ट कम डाउन टू 5 मिलीमीटर. तो अगर एयर पाथवे नैरो डाउन हो गया तो क्या आप इजीली ब्रीथ कर पाओगे? तो क्या दोनों इजीली ऑक्सीजन बाहर जाएगा? तो क्या कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इजीली अंदर आएगा? नो, राइट? इट हैज टू बी अ बैलेंस्ड वे wherein enough amount of oxygen goes out, enough amount of carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange can take in. Once that particular thing is being done, then the problem gets sorted. Correct? Am I crystal clear till here? अब ये केमिकल मीडिएटर्स आए जो सेल में से लीक हुए थे, ऑल योर ल्यूकोट्राइन्स, प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन्स, प्लेटलेट एक्टिवेटिंग फैक्टर्स एंड ऑल. एक बार ये सारे केमिकल मीडिएटर्स रिलीज हो गए, उन्होंने ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन किया, सिंस ब्रोंक्यूल्स नैरो डाउन हो गए, इजीली ब्रीथिंग हो नहीं पाया. ब्रीदिंग में प्रॉब्लम आया. Someone said initially when we started with the chapter of asthma now that asthma में basically breathing problem होता है, right? I suppose वैष्णवी said it. That's the reason that bronchoconstriction के बदले वजह से आप easily breathe नहीं कर पाते. Once this bronchoconstriction has happened, it also leads to inflammation parallelly. Once after bronchoconstriction, the inflammation happens, the next thing what it causes is directly asthma. तो अगर मैं इनडायरेक्टली बोलूं कि भाई अस्थमा क्यों हुआ, तो व्हाट विल यू से? क्या बोलेगा? अस्थमा क्यों हुआ? अस्थमा हुआ बिकॉज पेशेंट को इन्फ्लेमेशन हुआ था, राइट? इन्फ्लेमेशन क्यों हुआ? इन्फ्लेमेशन इसके लिए हुआ क्योंकि ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन हुआ था. एम आई गोइंग राइट? रेशमा, वैष्णवी, जावेद, सौरभ, आकाश. और ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन क्यों हुआ? बिकॉज केमिकल मीडिएटर्स लीक हो गए, योर ल्यूकोटाइंस, प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन्स, प्लेटलेट एक्टिवेटिंग फैक्टर्स एंड ऑल. अब आते कि भाई केमिकल मीडिएटर्स लीक क्यों हुए? केमिकल मीडिएटर्स इसके लिए लीक हुए क्योंकि एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी मास्ट सेल पर रिएक्ट कर रहे थे. द मोमेंट योर एंटीजन एंड एंटीबॉडी रिएक्टेड ऑन मास्ट सेल, द नेक्स्ट थिंग व्हाट हैपेंड वाज आर मास्ट सेल ब्रोक डाउन, मास्ट सेल टूट गया. ना ही एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी मास्ट सेल पर रिएक्ट करते, ना ही मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन होता, ना ही केमिकल मीडिएटर्स रिलीज होते, ना ही उनका लीकेज होता, ना ही ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन होता एंड ना ही इन्फ्लेमेशन होता, which ultimately actually led to asthma. Till now, what we did is just something as a part of our anatomy, pathology, pathophysiology, जिसको आप human anatomy, physiology, HAP करके भी subject college में बोलते रहोगे. Now, what we are talking over here is not only about HAP. We are not here playing subject specific कि मैं सिर्फ anatomy, pathology, pathophysiology या human anatomy, physiology पढ़ूंगा, या मैं सिर्फ pharmacology पढ़ूंगा, या मैं सिर्फ medicinal chemistry पढ़ूंगा. No, that's not the case over here. Over here, we are talking about all the subjects, all the topics together since we are preparing for entrance. Our target is entrance, our target is not only our semester exams. No doubt, as we move further, you will gradually realize that when you are preparing for entrance, आप parallelly semester के लिए भी ready होते जा रहे हो. It's not the case that आप semester के लिए ready नहीं हो रहे हो. Concept wise, you will be far more strong. Take it as a word from me. So this what we did till now was anatomy, pathology, pathophysiology. Now let's actually move to the chapter of drugs for bronchial asthma. हम जो पढ़ने आए हैं वो अभी चालू होगा. तो ये तो डिजीज था कि भाई अस्थमा हुआ क्यों. Now let's talk about the approaches to the treatment that भाई ये डिजीज क्योर कैसे हो सकती है. तो आपने क्या बोला कि भाई एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्ट हो रहा है, उसके वजह से मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन हो रहा है. तो अगर मैं एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी का रिएक्शन ही ना होने दूं, इफ आई प्रिवेंट एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन, तो क्या मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन होगा आकाश? अगर मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन नहीं होगा तो क्या केमिकल मीडिएटर्स रिलीज होंगे रेशमा? अगर केमिकल मीडिएटर्स रिलीज ही नहीं होंगे श्यामल, तो क्या ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन होगा विराज? और अगर ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं होगा जावेद, तो क्या इन्फ्लेमेशन होगा? एंड इफ देयर इज नो इन्फ्लेमेशन, कैन आई से देयर विल बी नो अस्थमा? Does everyone agree till here? Atharva, Srinath, is everything crystal clear? I hope you got the flow. तो अगर मैं एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन ही स्टॉप कर दूंगा तो आगे का कुछ भी नहीं होगा और पेशेंट को अस्थमा भी नहीं होगा. Does everyone agree till here? बहुत बेसिक था. The moment you understand only this slide, आगे के सारी की सारी चीजें आपको अपने आप आ जाएगी. Provided you understand this part. If you are clear with this particular part, आगे की सारी चीजें आपको अपने आप आ जाएगी. Trust me. Alright, so that was about preventing antigen antibody reaction. Now let's assume a case where the patient came to know later on that patient is suffering from asthma. पेशेंट को पहले से नहीं पता था कि उसको अस्थमा हुआ है, पेशेंट को बाद में पता चला. पेशेंट को अगर बाद में पता चला, इट मींस दैट टिल दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी इज ऑलरेडी रिएक्टेड. अगर एंट्रिंग अगर एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी ऑलरेडी रिएक्ट कर चुके हैं, in that particular case you cannot prevent antigen antibody reaction, right? The next thing what you will do is, ठीक है, if you have already reacted, you neutralize your antibody, sorry, you neutralize your antigen. एक बार एंटीजन न्यूट्रलाइज हो गया तो क्या वो आगे का कुछ रिएक्टिविटी दे पाएगा? नो, इट वोंट बी एबल टू गिव दैट. राइट अब्दुल, यू आर ऑन पॉइंट. तो अगर वो कुछ दे ही नहीं पाएगा ऑन द अदर ग्राउंड्स विद रिगार्ड्स टू एक्सट्रिंसिक, देन इट्स टोटली फाइन. देयर इज नथिंग टू वरी. अगर एंटीजन न्यूट्रलाइज हो गया है तो एंटीबॉडी के साथ आगे रिएक्ट नहीं करेगा. उसने जितना रिएक्ट किया उसके ऊपर इसने जो थेरेपेटिक एक्टिविटी दिया, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट केस ऑल टुगेदर. बट आगे वो कुछ ऐड नहीं करने वाला है. लेट्स गो टू नेक्स्ट. मैं यहाँ पे सिर्फ ब्रेकडाउन और मास्ट सेल वापस शॉर्ट में लिख दे रहा हूँ. तो एक था कि मैंने एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन स्टॉप किया. दूसरा था कि मैंने न्यूट्रलाइजेशन कर दिया ऑफ IgE which was our antigen. Next, I prevent the release of mediators. ठीक है भाई, एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी ऑलरेडी रिएक्ट हो चुके हैं, मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन होता है, मास्ट सेल के ब्रेकडाउन के बाद केमिकल मीडिएटर्स रिलीज होते हैं. अगर मैं केमिकल मीडिएटर्स का रिलीज ही स्टॉप कर दूं, इफ आई प्रिवेंट द रिलीज ऑफ मीडिएटर्स, then bronchoconstriction won't happen. If bronchoconstriction won't happen, then inflammation won't happen. If inflammation won't happen, asthma won't happen. Right, Pooja? So we got the flow of events. Since I know the cause of the disease, I know how the treatment is going to walk upon. So if you know the primary thing कि disease होता कैसे है, then the secondary thing which is with regards to the treatment part of it, that can easily be known. Good one, Abdul, on point. We will come to the drugs as well. Next, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है that ultimately the last cause of asthma is your inflammation, right? अगर आप इन्फ्लेमेशन ही अवॉइड कर दो, अगर आप किसी तरह इन्फ्लेमेशन को स्टॉप कर दो, लेट्स टेक अ क्लासिकल थिंग व्हाट हैपेंड ऑफ लेटली ड्यूरिंग कोविड. वी ऑल नो कोविड लास्टेड लास्ट 2 years, बहुत सारी चीज चेंज हुई. व्हाट वाज द रीजन व्हाई वर वी यूजिंग डेक्सामेथाजोन इन कोविड? वो कॉर्टिकोस्टेरॉइड डेक्सामेथाजोन कोविड के ट्रीटमेंट में क्यों यूज हो रहा था? Not only corticosteroid like dexamethasone, even prednisolone, even methylprednisolone, even that was being used in treatment of COVID. Why? Good one, Mikul. Excellent, Mikul. Why was that the case in that? Why were we using steroids? Not only that, we were also using, other than dexamethasone, prednisolone and methylprednisolone, if you know, we were also using tocilizumab. आपने सुना होगा, आपके फ्रेंड्स फैमिली वाले tocilizumab का इंजेक्शन ढूंढ रहे थे. ये सारे के सारे स्टेरॉइड्स क्यों यूज हुए? अंडरस्टैंड, इन्फ्लेमेशन का मेजर काम क्या था? इन्फ्लेमेशन वाज द लास्ट कॉजेटिव फैक्टर फॉर अस्थमा. अस्थमा होने के पहले का जो एक पहले का स्टेप था, दैट वाज इन्फ्लेमेशन. अगर आप अस्थमा के पहले का जो इन्फ्लेमेशन था, अगर आप वो इन्फ्लेमेशन को दबा देते तो पेशेंट को अस्थमा नहीं होता. सो योर मेजर थिंग टू प्रिवेंट अस्थमा, टू प्रिवेंट अ पेशेंट suffering from breathing problem, was to suppress the inflammation. If you might have suppressed the inflammation, patient might have been saved. Am I correct? So that all these steroids, your dexamethasone, your prednisolone, methylprednisolone, tocilizumab, ये सारे के सारे ड्रग्स जो कोविड के ट्रीटमेंट में यूज हो रहे थे, ये सारे सारे कॉर्टिकोस्टेरॉइड्स सिर्फ इन्फ्लेमेशन को सप्रेस करने के लिए यूज हो रहे थे. They wanted to avoid your body's response to the virus. So their major activity was just to suppress the inflammation. The example right over here is corticosteroids. So if you could have prevented that on step 1, the thing was over. Other than this, abhi chemical mediators already release ho gaye. You cannot do them anything. Already platelet activating factors, prostaglandins, leukotrienes, सब कुछ बाहर आ चुका है. अब क्या करोगे? अब आप उनको वापस सेल के अंदर तो नहीं डाल सकते. You cannot refill those all into the cells again. So what you do instead is you put up an antagonist of those mediators. वो जितने भी मीडिएटर्स है, आप वो सबका एक एंटागोनिस्ट ऐड कर दो. अगर लुकोट्राइन है तो आप लुकोट्राइन एंटागोनिस्ट ऐड कर दो. फॉर इन्फॉर्मेशन, लुकोट्राइन एंटागोनिस्ट पे भी पास्ट में क्वेश्चन आके गया है, इंक्लूडिंग द लास्ट 2-3 years ऑफ जीपैट पेपर एंड लास्ट 4 years ऑफ नाइपर पेपर. लुकोट्राइन एंटागोनिस्ट पे स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन आया था. अगर हिस्टामाइन से प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है तो आप एंटी हिस्टामाइन यूज कर लो. अगर प्लेटलेट एक्टिवेटिंग फैक्टर से प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है तो आप प्लेटलेट एक्टिवेटिंग फैक्टर का एंटागोनिस्ट यूज कर लो. तो जो भी केमिकल मीडिएटर्स प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, जो भी केमिकल मीडिएटर्स आपके लिए आगे ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन और इन्फ्लेमेशन क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, आप स्ट्रेट अवे वो सारे केमिकल मीडिएटर्स को एंटागोनाइज कर दो. Once you antagonize all those chemical mediators, will you suffer from asthma? A big no, right? Mukul, Muskan, Abdul, Deep, Reshma, Pooja. I hope you all are very much clear about it, Shamal. So once you know the flow of disease causing agent, the treatment is very easy. Again, अब let's assume a situation जहाँ पे broncho constriction already हो चुका है. अब आप क्या करोगे? अगर broncho constriction हो चुका है, the next thing is that आपको broncho constriction को dilation में convert करना है. अगर वो narrow down हो चुका है, you have to dilate that vessel, you have to increase the diameter so that the patient can easily breathe in. तो अगर कोई broncho constriction already problem create कर चुका है due to this chemical mediators, then the next thing we do is we add a mediator to it, a dilator to it. आप जैसे ही dilator use करोगे, it will dilate out and the air pathway would become normal back again. So when it comes to dilators, you have some mimicking dilators in your body, which are sympathomimetics. When we go in other chapters of ANS, CNS, that time we will do those chapters in detail. Other than that, when we are specific with regards to our part of directly acting bronchodilators. Many times you might have felt that when you drink hot tea, when you drink hot coffee, आपको लगता है as if your air pathways have opened up, right? You feel that. क्यों होता है ऐसा? What is the reason that we feel ease up of our air pathways when we are drinking coffee and tea? How come coffee and tea are helping it? I hope you all are aware coffee and tea में caffeine होता है, right? And for your information, caffeine is nothing but a part of methylxanthine category. आएगा जैसे जैसे हम लोग आगे जाएंगे कैफीन भी आएगा. Crystal clear. Do you think you need to highlight anything on this particular slide? I don't think there is a need to highlight even one statement out of this entire slide. Everything is linked to each other. How it is working. पहले एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी मास सेल के ऊपर कंबाइन हुए, फिर मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन हुआ जिसकी वजह से केमिकल मीडिएटर्स, ल्यूकोट्राइन्स, प्लेटलेट एक्टिवेटिंग फैक्टर्स, प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन्स, हिस्टामाइन प्रोटीज एंजाइम रिलीज हुए. ये केमिकल मीडिएटर्स की वजह से ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ, ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रक्शन की वजह से इन्फ्लेमेशन हुआ एंड उसके वजह से अस्थमा हुआ. अब अगर मुझे अस्थमा रोकना है देन आई विल प्रिवेंट एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन और आई विल न्यूट्रलाइज द एंटीजन. और if it is already released, I can try and avoid my mast cell breakdown. I will prevent release of mediators. Other than that, अगर वो भी रिलीज हो चुका है, अगर इन्फ्लेमेशन स्टार्ट हो चुका है, then I will suppress the inflammation using different corticosteroids. And lastly, जो भी chemical mediators है, you can use their antagonist or you can go for a dilator to avoid all the problem. Crystal clear till here? Can we proceed further? चले boss? I hope you all are enjoying it and we are finding it easy to understand as well. So if you observe these two diagrams, this is just for your reference purpose. No one in GPAT, NIPER, ICT, BITS, Manipal is ever going to ask you that, boss, इसमें अस्थमा का लंग कौन सा और नॉर्मल का लंग कौन सा आइडेंटिफाई करके बता. कोई नहीं पूछने वाला. So don't break your head into it in order to identify that by अस्थमा वाला कौन सा है और नॉर्मल वाला कौन सा है. But can you still help me to understand that अस्थमैटिक पेशेंट का जो लंग आपको स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है और जो हेल्दी पेशेंट का स्क्रीन आपको दिख रहा है, what is that classical thing which is very much clearly defined, जो problematic areas दिख रहा है आपको, जो एक classical अस्थमा के पेशेंट को प्रॉब्लम होता है, अगर आप ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हो, फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट थिंग व्हिच हैज हैपेंड ओवर हियर इज इसके जो एयरवे मसल्स है, आप देखो वो सारे ब्लॉक हो चुके हैं. यू कैन ऑब्जर्व म्यूकस बीइंग देयर इन. अदर देन दैट उसके एक्सटर्नल एयर पाथवेज जो है वहां पे भी कोलाजन आ चुका है. कोई पूछने नहीं वाला, बट दिस इज द जनरल फिजियोलॉजिकल कंडीशन इन द पेशेंट which we should be aware about. Other than that, airway pathways का भी hyperplasia हो चुका है. So this is a condition which actually exists in an asthmatic patient physiologically, which you are supposed to take into account in order to do the treatment. Once you know the exact cause कि boss problem किधर है, is it with regards to neurotransmitters, is it with regards to chemical mediators, what it is, which is the chemical mediator which is present in highest amount. As we just discussed, what are the different chemical mediators which increases in an asthmatic patient? Can anyone help me to understand that? कौन से chemical mediators है जो asthmatic patient में use होते हैं? Sorry, जो asthmatic patient में ज़्यादा release हुए होते हैं. Can I say prostaglandins? Yes. Can I say leukotrienes? Yes. Can I say histamine? So when you are going to use it for treatment, you will first do diagnostic test. You will identify in diagnostic test that which chemical mediator is in highest concentration. If you see that prostaglandin is in highest concentration, you will go for an antagonist of prostaglandin. If you see that the chemical mediator like leukotriene is in higher concentration, then you will go for an antagonist of leukotriene. What the logic? Why are we supposed to do diagnostic test whereby we can identify that what is the chemical locha being created in the patient? Taking it furthermore, this is the classification which we have to remember from entrance point of view. Straightforward question which was there in the past in NIPER papers was on the basis of classification. Which among the following is a mast cell stabilizer, leukotriene antagonist, someday a bronchodilator or corticosteroid? So that's one part of the picture we have to be sure about what is being asked in. Other than that, in case of GPAT, there was a case study based question. So once we go further as we proceed, maybe in the second subsequent lecture of our demo, we will discuss about that as well. Now, in order to understand things over here with regards to classification for bronchial asthma, can I say bronchodilators will be a category which will be working on symptomatic relief. वो patient के जो narrow down airways है वो उसका diameter बढ़ा देगा. Can I say that? Can I say that it is just going to be a symptomatic treatment? Is it working on the cause? Is it killing the chemical mediators? Is it killing the causative agents? No. उसको तो वो कुछ नहीं कर रहा है. Whatever it is doing, it is just doing on the airway pathway. Am I correct? Am I correct till here? Shiva, I didn't get what you just said exactly. Gurinchi, Kudda, discuss Chayandi. But I suppose you're talking about types of asthma and you don't need it for entrance, so don't worry. One of the most important things when you're preparing for GPAT, NIPER, ICT, BITS, Manipal, जितना important ये पता होना होता है that what is supposed to be read, equally important it is for you to know that what is not supposed to be read. And if you're spending time on things and topics which are not supposed to be read, you're creating a problem for yourself. So be careful about which topics and which areas you are spending your time on to so that you can get better with regards to the entrance preparation. Going back to what we were discussing, bronchodilators as a category for drugs used in treatment of bronchial asthma is only going to work on the symptomatic treatment. वो cause पे कुछ नहीं कर रहा. Has it done anything to chemical mediators? No. Has it done anything to the mast cell? No. Has it done anything to the antigen antibody? No. वो सिर्फ जो एयर पाथवे आपका नैरो डाउन हुआ था वो उसको रिलैक्स कर रहा है. Am I correct? Mukul, Shiva, Muskan, Abdul. So it's not being treating right from the cause. It's just a superficial treatment which is due to the problem being caused at the end stage. But when we talk about leukotriene antagonist, can I say this is somewhere going to help us to pick up the root? जो मेन प्रॉब्लम क्रिएटिंग है वो उसको उठा के फेंक रहा है. कैन आई से दैट अगेन व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मास्ट सेल स्टेबलाइजर्स, अगर मास्ट सेल स्टेबलाइज हो गया तो मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन नहीं होगा. अगर मास्ट सेल का ब्रेकडाउन नहीं होगा तो केमिकल मीडिएटर्स नहीं आएंगे. अगर केमिकल मीडिएटर्स नहीं आएंगे तो पेशेंट को अस्थमा भी नहीं होगा क्योंकि इन्फ्लेमेशन भी नहीं होगा. So it is very much making sense that if you use a mast cell stabilizer, you can probably remove the disease right from the root. But again, when you are going to corticosteroids, corticosteroids are drugs which are used for treatment specifically, right? And again, even corticosteroids are just going to work on inflammation. They're just going to suppress the inflammation. So is corticosteroid working on the root cause of the disease? Yes or no? क्या कॉर्टिकोस्टेरॉइड आपके डिजीज के रूट कॉज पे काम कर रहा है? मुस्कान, मुकुल, पूजा, वैष्णवी, श्यामल, इज इट डूइंग दैट? मुकुल, नो. कॉर्टिकोस्टेरॉइड इज जस्ट वर्किंग ऑन इन्फ्लेमेशन. वो सिर्फ इन्फ्लेमेशन को दबाएगा. दैट्स इट. Going further, after corticosteroids, the last category which we are discussing in is about anti-IgE antibody. मतलब हमारे IgE इम्यूनोग्लोबुलिन के अगेंस्ट वाला. तो अगर मुझे इम्यूनोग्लोबुलिन के अगेंस्ट जाना है, मुझे IgE के अगेंस्ट जाना है, तो आई नीड टू आइदर न्यूट्रलाइज इट और आई नीड टू prevent the interaction between both of them. Am I correct till here? Are we able to connect the dots? One by one, actually, ideally speaking, we are supposed to by heart all these drugs. Yes, बहुत सारे लोग क्लासिफिकेशन के लिए अगर मान लो क्लासिफिकेशन में 5 ड्रग होते हैं तो वी आर हैबिचुएटेड टू रिमेंबर नेम ऑफ ओनली 2 ड्रग्स और 3 ड्रग्स. हम सारे के सारे ड्रग्स का नाम बाय हार्ट नहीं करते. Which is actually not the right case. We ideally should be by hearting each and every drug which is present into it. Am I crystal clear till here? Any questions, any doubts, any queries which you wish to ask? Muskan, Abdul, Mikul, just for information, Pharmailite is starting with a new batch for GPAT 23, 24 and 25. So if you are wishing to join in, you can contact on the number which is in the ticker of this video जो नीचे circulate हो रहा है, or you can also find it in the title of this video. Let's go further. When we talk about classification, one of the major reason why people find classification a bit confusing or a bit difficult to remember, or many times they jumble up the drugs. एक साइड के ड्रग दूसरे में डाल देते हैं. ऐसा क्यों होता है? The major reason why people find classification a bit difficult to understand or memorize is their way of studying. अगर आप क्लासिफिकेशन रख के करने जाओगे तो आपके लिए क्लासिफिकेशन हमेशा ही टफ रहने वाला है. But if you actually understand classification, कि भाई पढ़ना कैसे, then it becomes very much clear to you. I'll tell you how. Most of the time, it's always better to make mnemonics for classification. When I say mnemonics, mnemonics doesn't necessarily mean that आप पूरा का पूरा हर एक चीज का निमोनिक बनाओ. बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे होती है हमारे क्लासिफिकेशन में जिसके लिए निमोनिक की जरूरत ही नहीं है. And if you go to make mnemonic for each and every drug, I'm sorry, just wait a minute. Yeah, I was saying if you make mnemonic for each and every individual drug, then mnemonic by heart करना difficult हो जाता. So ideally, I don't advise you to make mnemonic with regards to stories, but I advise you to make mnemonics with regards to your simple thing, which is alphabets. So let's say we are supposed to do leukotriene antagonist. I would just make a mnemonic which is going to involve M, L and Z majorly. Again, उसमें भी सबसे easy चीज ये है. I know that anything which ends with cast is going to be a leukotriene antagonist. Anything which ends with cast is going to be a leukotriene antagonist. और कोई भी ड्रग देख लो, कहीं किसी के भी एंडिंग में कास्ट है क्या? नहीं है. चेक. नहीं है. It's not there. That's how easy it is supposed to remember. Again, on same grounds, when you talk about beta 2 sympathomimetics, जो bronchodilators की जैसे act करने वाले, observe most of the sympathomimetics have got all salbutamol, bambuterol, salmeterol, formoterol. हाँ, कुछ ड्रग्स है जिनमें all नहीं है, but they are still beta 2 sympathomimetics. That's a different thing. But if you remember with the prefix and suffix, remembering it becomes very easy. Again, when you talk about the category of methyl xanthines का category अगर आप देखते हो, सबके एंड में फाइलिन, 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 फाइलिन उसके derivatives है. So moment it is filin at the end, let it be then theophylline or derivative of theophylline, which is aminophylline choline, or let it be theophylline ethanoate, let it be any derivative, but अगर उसके end में phylline है, that gives me an idea that yes, it's a part of methyl xanthine category. Getting the logic classification पढ़ना कैसे? Don't do the traditional way, सिर्फ दो ड्रग पढ़ना या हर चीज के लिए निमोनिक बनाना. That's not the solution to it, my friend. Going further, when we talk about anticholinergics, अगर आप anticholinergics का observe करते हो, then all that which we have over here has got opium at the end. दिख रहा है? Ipratropium, tiotropium, opium. So if it is ending with opium and halogen, it's belonging to the category of anticholinergics only. Got the dots? Actually, there is a far more detailed way whereby you can remember this classification on a better ground to make it more easy for yourself. The more logically you read it, the better it is. Other than that, when we talk about mast cell stabilizer, the moment I think about mast cell stabilizer, I think about CSK, which is actually not CSK, it is actually MSK. M for Mahendra Singh Dhoni, sodium chromoglycate, K for ketotifen. So M is for mast cell stabilizer. You can actually remember Chennai Super King CSK as well, where C is still cell stabilizer. याद तो रहेगा that mast cell से ही problem है. Cell stabilizer. S for sodium chromoglycate and K for ketotifen. That's how we are supposed to take it up. Everything clear till here? I hope we are comfortable. We are able to correlate it and we are able to get the answers to our questions. Most important MCQ which has always come till date multiple times in GPAT NIPER has revolved around leukotriene antagonist, mast cell stabilizer, and your anti-IgE antibody. Why these three categories are more important? Reason. When you talk about beta 2 sympathomimetics, iska in detail example, explanation, everything is there in the chapter of autonomic nervous system. ANS के अंदर आता है. एंटीकोलिनर्जिक्स भी दूसरे चैप्टर में आता है. मिथाइल जैंथीन्स भी आता है. स्टेरॉइड्स के चैप्टर में स्टेरॉइड्स का पूरा कैटेगरी आ जाता है. ये तीन कैटेगरी के ड्रग्स ही ऐसे हैं जो हार्डकोर अस्थमा के लिए ही है. Are you using Montelukast, Zafilucast in any other disease? No. Are you using sodium chromoglycate and ketotifen in any other disease? No. The reason it is specific to that particular disease is the reason why when it comes to entrances, the questions are highly possible from those areas only. Now are we able to connect the dots? पढ़ने के टाइम कौन सी चीज पे ज्यादा फोकस करके चलना है, कौन सी चीज को सुपरफिशियल रखना है? Crystal clear? That's how we go about classification. अगेन व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट स्टेरॉइड्स, स्टेरॉइड्स में दो टाइप के स्टेरॉइड्स होते हैं. एक होता है सिस्टमिक स्टेरॉइड जो टैबलेट्स लिए थे, पीपल टुक डेक्सामेथाजोन, मेथिलप्रेडनिसोलोन, हाइड्रोकॉर्टिसोन in case of COVID as well. And when it comes to inhalation steroids are something which is on a totally different level ongoing. You have diclomethasone dipropionate, budesonide, fluticasone and flunisolide जो अस्थमा के पंप्स आते हैं. Have you seen asthma pumps? Have you seen asthma pumps? How does asthma pump work? How does asthma pump work? Asthma pump कैसे काम करता है? Asthma pump is basically the pump which is going to work as an inhalation steroid used for treatment of the drugs in your body. inhale करके directly into the pathway. That's the reason it works upon that category. This, as a whole, we will move into one by one each drug, their IUPAC, their pharmacology, their medicinal chemistry, IUPAC from different drugs point of view, ecology and medicinal chemistry together. Structures is a part of your medicine, your mechanism of action is a part of your pharmacology. This is how we take up entire structure activity relationship. Don't worry, this video will always be available on this channel. You can any day go through this particular channel. Entrance point of view जो पढ़ना है उतना ही पढ़ना है. Don't invest your time on things reading which are not going to be a part of your GPAT and NIPER. For your information, let me tell you, Pharma Elite's best rank for GPAT 22 the recent year was All India rank 35. The best rank in NIPER 21 was 12. The best rank in NIPER 2020 was 0-1 in Pharma MBA category, 0-2 in MS category in 2020, 12 in MS category, 35 was of GPAT 22. So we are a team of Niperians and ICTians. We are 5 years old now, started back in 2017, and that have been our journey. We have targeted always on the higher side. Once you join in with Pharma Light, you get live lectures, recorded lectures, you get notes, soft copy notes already uploaded on app. Question papers are already there on the websites. Once you are done reading, you need not wait for me to upload the question paper. You can go onto the website and solve the question papers right over there. You can solve paper numerous times if you want to solve question papers 20 times, 30 times, you can do that. No need of waiting for me that when I'll come, when I'll upload the paper and then you will be able to solve it. No. Everything is available on the channel. You can do it immediately from the website. Login ID password will be provided to you immediately. You will get soft copy notes on app as well. Most importantly, our live lectures goes on from 7 to 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. Other than that, 2 days in week, 1 to 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday most of the time, or maybe one day when you have your semesters around. And Sunday, our lectures go on from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Other than this, there is actually one big detailed video. If you are a beginner to GPAT, how many of you are beginner to GPAT who have just started preparing for GPAT? हम में से कितने लोग ऐसे जिन्होंने GPAT के लिए पहले नहीं पढ़ा था, but off lately we are going to start with our preparation now. If that is the case, that you have just started with your GPAT preparation, and if you are wondering that what's to be done, what's not to be done, how much is supposed to be done, then in that particular case, I have a detailed video for you wherein we have discussed about multiple things at a time. I'm just stopping screen sharing for a minute. You can just check the same YouTube channel on this you are viewing the video now. If possible, do subscribe this channel so that next time you will be notified when we go live for our next session. So if you check this video, tips and tricks to crack GPAT preparation, I'm myself a NIPER alumnus. I've pursued my master's from NIPER Hyderabad, MS in Pharmaceutics. So here is the in detail part about how to approach a MCQ, which subject to be kept on priority, which subject can be done secondarily, how much in each chapter we are supposed to focus. समझने का try करो. Have you all seen KD Tripathi? Have all of us seen KD Tripathi? Don't forget to click on the bell icon and subscribe this channel now. आप सब लोग ने केडी त्रिपाठी देखा होगा. तो केडी त्रिपाठी से जब हम कोई भी चैप्टर पढ़ते हैं, what have you observed? There are so many additional things being given in KD Tripathi. Is anyone in GPAT exam going to ask you to have your semesters around and Sunday? Is anyone in GPAT exam going to ask you that give the pharmacokinetics of a drug? कोई नहीं पूछने वाला है. कोई तुमको ब्रांड नेम पूछेगा ड्रग का, नहीं पूछने वाला. कोई तुमको मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन पे एक पूरे पेज का शॉर्ट नोट लिखने बोलने वाला है क्या? नहीं. मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन पे एक पेज का शॉर्ट नोट हमको थियरी एग्जाम में सेमेस्टर में लिखना होता है, जीपैट में नहीं लिखना होता. GPAT is all about knowing that same thing in a crisp manner up to the point. Like when I talk about local anesthetics, I just need to know that local anesthetics block sodium ion channels. बस फिर वो क्लोज स्टेट पे करता है, एक्टिव स्टेट पे करता है, इनएक्टिव स्टेट पे करता है. That's a detailed part of it. If you know, it's great. If you don't know, then it's okay. There is no worry with regards to that कि बस तुमको पता ही नहीं है. That's not the case. It's totally fine even in that particular case. But the most important thing, Padmata Uday Kumar secondary, but I will always advise you KD Tripathi primary, since GPAT question papers turn around that. Sparsh Gupta is an excellent book, no doubt about that. It can make pharmacology easy for you very easily. So be clear with regards to how much is supposed to be done and how are you supposed to do it. Just a request, and if possible, you can just let us know with your feedback that what is it which is supposed to be done, and how do you want Pharma Light to work upon with regards to your better days and your better way of preparation. With upcoming all demo lectures, we will keep you informed. We will share the joining links with you. Other than that, if you just click on the subscribe button along with the bell icon, the next time we do any such session, you will get a notification from the channel. Meanwhile, if you have any queries, any questions which you wish to ask now, please feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to help you out. I hope I could give you a new direction with regards to entrance preparation, what things you are supposed to keep on priority and what thing not. केडी भी बहुत ईजी है बट केडी के साथ एक ही प्रॉब्लम है विद रिगार्ड्स टू क्रेडिट पार्टी देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ एडिशनल थिंग्स बीइंग गिवन तो वो जो फिल्ट्रेशन होता है ना विद थिंग्स आर सपोज टू बी डन एंड विच थिंग्स आर नॉट सपोज टू बी डन वो बराबर से करना थोड़ा सा टफ हो जाता है इफ यू कैन बैलेंस दैट देन इट्स ग्रेट देन यू डोंट नीड टू वरी अबाउट एनीथिंग एल्स that balancing is the most important key over you. Any other questions in anything you wish to ask? Done. Nothing. Best book for GPAT MCQ. So to be honest, nothing like that existing. The more you practice, the better it is. ऐसे होना चाहिए पूरा SAR. And then we'll pick up your MCQs at the end, wherein we'll discuss about each and every individual MCQ, how it is supposed to be done and how not. If you're looking for online, offline, don't worry. Pamela is there with you for both of it. कोई book ऐसा standard नहीं है which will help you out, but I can tell you it's always better to practice it the way you are going to write your exam. So never ever just solve it from any book जहाँ पे timer ना हो, flagging का option ना हो, mark for review का option ना हो, आपको वो आइडिया ना मिले कि आपने कौन से क्वेश्चन पे कितना टाइम दिया है. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि आपका मार्क के वो आंसर राइट जाता है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, बट द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट हाउ लॉन्ग डिड यू टेक टू आंसर दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. इफ यू टुक मोर देन अ मिनट देन आपके पास उतना टाइम रहने ही नहीं वाला है जीपैट के एग्जाम में. then how is it that what we are doing is logical? It doesn't make sense, right? So be clear with what is supposed to be done primarily to attend our goals secondarily. Thank you so much. In case if you have any doubts, any queries, please feel free to reach out to Pharma Light. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks once again. And a big thanks for time on Sunday evening. I hope Pharma Light could add value to your time and give you a new direction with regards to preparation parallelly. Thank you so much.